Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got an exciting blend for you guys today, and I am so stoked to get started because it's that spooky season again, and I'm going to do what I usually do. I'm going to spotlight one company that does spooky spooky themed teas, and this year we're going to be spotlighting the Morose and Macabre Loose Leaf Parlor Tea. And I just love that name. It sounds like really spooky and awesome. So today's blend is really interesting so far because it's one that I haven't done in, I haven't done this blend before, but it's the first time I've done a certain portion of the blend, a certain ingredient, I should say, which has butterfly pea flower in it. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you Misfortune Teller. You see what they did there? It's misfortunate. So this is a mixture of pear, butterfly pea flower, or they call it blue pea flower. They have vanilla with green and white teas, and let me tell you, this has been really nice. The scent has been very fragrant. Why is it telling me to... That's so weird. Yeah, it was telling me to invite somebody. I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to take a look at this tea. Hey, Ma, welcome. As you can see, it's not your ordinary tea. It's very blue. That's mainly because of the pea flower that's in it. And it's very, like, this... Let me just pull some out. You can see why the tea turns blue. There we go. We'll just hold it on the right side. Look at that. It's a little bit hard to tell. It's more of a purple kind of color to it. But when you pour it out, it's blue. And for those of you who have seen this kind of tea before, once you introduce a little bit of citric acid, then it turns purple, and that's what I love bringing that to people's attention because it's so magical, basically. Let me see. Hey Teresa, welcome. Yeah, my phone isn't telling me that I'm getting any messages, but. Thankfully, I have my laptop right here because I'm still not seeing anything. But go ahead and continue to comment, and I'll just keep looking down. I don't know what's going on with the mobile Facebook. It's just acting weird. But anyway, so we've seen this before, blue tea, and it turns purple, as I was saying. Now, this is also an interesting blend because it's got green tea and white tea together, which is in a way a little bit more complex to steep, but not as complex if we were doing a white tea with a black tea. I mean, at that point you really wouldn't taste the white tea anyway. But with the green and the white, they're just about the same kind of steeping instructions. So you want to go light on the temperature, around maybe 160 degrees, just to play it safe. No more than 180 for sure, and for 3 minutes. So we're going to take a look at what it looks like on its own. You can see right there, it's very, I gotta move this over to the side. God, I really need to get this thing fixed. But yeah, so you can see it's a very bright yellows. You see greens in here. You see a couple chunks. So we have a little bit of the butterfly pea flower, which is more what it's supposed to look like. So you have the blue petals with the leaves behind it. That's what it generally looks like. You have green tea. Oh, I keep picking up the wrong one. Actually, no, this one looks more like white tea. Like it has not been oxidized at all. Trying to find a good piece of green tea to show you. It looks like they just used big chunks of leaf. Gotta dig around a little bit. I guess we can save this one. So it looks like this has been oxidized a bit more. You see it's got more of a shape, not just an open leaf, but instead there is a... hey Viva, welcome. Hey Snea, welcome. So you see it's more shapely, not just an open leaf, but that shows it's been oxidized, so it's more on the green tea side. So all of this culminates together into this one blend. Now we're going to take our first whiff to see what it smells like. Oh, that's very nice. It's very perfumey. It's very light on the pear fruit. And the rest is just fragrance. It's very floral and vegetal. Like I'm getting a lot of the pea flower. I'm getting a lot of the scent of both of the teas. But then like it's a slight note of pear with that little citrus rock fruit kind of scent to it. That is really, really nice. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take my first sip, and we'll see how it tastes. Okay, that's interesting. It's more floral than I thought it would be, because I was hoping that, well, not hoping, but I was expecting the pear to be more prevalent. Hey, Jaren, welcome. I was expecting the pear to be more prevalent than what it is, but it's more like slight notes of it, and above all else, it's more floral than I thought it would be. And there's a kind of like semi-sweetness to it. It's a floral sweetness, a little bit sugary, but there's no sugar added to that. So I'm assuming it's like the sugars that you get from the pear mixing in with the butterfly pea flower, because the butterfly pea flower is on its own pretty sweet for a flower. I mean, usually you get like a perfumey, slightly bitter, and a silky mouthfeel. I'm not getting any of that. It's nice and floral. It's fragrant. It's really, really great. And there's a bit of an aftertaste that tastes kind of clean, if that makes any sense. It feels and tastes kind of like either fabric softener or a shampoo, but very, very light. Very, very light and sweet shampoo. It's not bitter like Earl Grey tends to be, and you don't get that secondary kind of shampoo taste to it. It's just got that shampoo fragrance and that silky feel on your mouth that really sets in and leaves a lasting impression. So if you take a look at let me move my tea out of the way. If you take a look at the steeped leaves, you'll see there's very, very little difference between dry and wet. The only difference I can see really is the green tea has opened up a little bit. Other than that, there's really no difference to the actual feel and look of the tea. So, I kind of like did a double take when I realized that there was butterfly pea flower when I first chose this tea. And as I always do, I have I show the difference in color when you add lemon juice. This time around, I don't have any lemons. I was slightly unprepared. However, don't be afraid because we're going to do something a little bit different. It should have the same effect, but I'm going to use a little bit of orange instead. Now, putting orange juice inside tea, it's a little bit strange. But, you know, this is Halloween. Might as well embrace the strange a little bit. Am I right? So let's take a look. Okay, so now we see it's kind of bluish green. Let's see if it changes color any. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of the orange in there. Mix it in. Oh, it's changing color already. Maybe it needs a little bit more. I only like to put a few drops in it, but I think this causes a little bit more. Okay, well, I mean, it's something. I mean, now I see why they use lemon instead of orange. Because, I mean, like, tea and lemon is known together, but yeah, it looks okay. Yeah, it looks like it's starting to turn more purple. Yeah, I think Sea Wage wants to know what temperature did I brew it at. I brewed it at about 160 because it's got green and white tea in it. So it's more on the lighter side. I wanted to make sure that I didn't oversteep it at all. Now I can smell the orange presence, and it mixes well with the pear that's already in there. I was hoping for a more dramatic, look. Maybe next time I'll be a little bit more prepared. Let me see if I can empty out the entire orange in here. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Yeah, I'm squeezing the life out of this thing. Oh, I just splashed myself a little bit. That's all right. Now, the more I add, it is making a more visible change. Try showing it without your shirt very blue behind it. You know what? That is a good idea. You know what? Let me mix it up a little bit. Okay, so I'll just stand aside. Okay, yeah, it looks more purple. I wish I had a white piece of paper. Oh, you know what? I have a little box. Thanks for the suggestion, Sea Wage. So I have a little white box. See, now, now it looks a lot more purple than it was. Well, on one camera, it looks a little bit more purple. For you in Twitch, it still looks kind of blue. I guess it's just a matter of how the light hits it. The photographer gang checking in. Yeah, I know what you mean. I took multimedia and television production in college, so I should be used to that. But you know, sometimes it just slips my mind. Viva says she wants some. Yeah, you can have some. I can see if I can find the link. I always like to post a link at the end of the show, just to make sure that you know, if it's a good one, you want to try it out. It's great. It's great publicity for both ends. So I'm gonna go ahead and take another sip of this and see how the orange affects it now that I added more to it. Wow, that's actually really nice. It's blending really well with the butterfly pea flower and the pear in it. It's bringing out both flavors, but it doesn't diminish the taste of the white and green teas. It's really, really nice in there. And the scent, like the orange is now becoming the prevalent odor above everything else. Yeah, I'm kind of struggling to find the floral in it that I had before. It was super strong before, but I'm really it's really hard to get to find that balance now after I added it. I mean, of course, you'll be you add an extra ingredient. Oh, excuse me, and it changes everything from the get-go, and that's part of why I love experimenting so much. From your descriptions, it seems very light. In comparison to other teas, yeah. But it's not like, it's bold, but not like black tea bold. It's not super duper hit you in the face. You can taste the flavor of it, but it's not watery at all. I think that's the best way to describe it, that you're not getting just like flavored water. It's an actual strong scent to it, and it's a fragrant scent and a nice strong flavor without being overpowering. And there's kind of like, at the back of my throat, there's like a little bit of a sediment. Is it expensive? I don't believe so. I think I paid like $5 for this. I picked it up actually. Just leave it to me. I always do this. I picked it up at the Oddities and Curiosities Expo. I think it was sometime in the spring. So it was like $5 for that. It's not super. It wasn't super expensive. I don't know how much they sell it for on the website. I'm gonna have to find it, but I don't think it's gonna be super expensive because there's nothing in here that's like too exotic. I mean, like the most exotic thing is the butterfly pea flower, and that's becoming more and more popular in tea shops. So I don't foresee it being super expensive at all. I mean, they don't even tell you what kind of green tea they used, so it's probably just a very generic type. And the white tea is going to be by Mudan, because that's basically just the leaf. But anyway, like I was saying, like, there's a certain kind of texture to it that the juice added, that kind of made it a little bit more grainy. There's a settling taste at the bottom of my tongue that leads to the back, and I'm assuming that's from like the pulp or the acidity, either or a little bit of both. Why not? I mean, both have certain textures to it. And wow, that's okay. That's really strange. It looks like, I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe it's just my eyes, but it looks like it's going back to blue for some reason. I don't know. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me. Question: why do you slurp your tea? The English say it's not proper. Any truth to that? Etiquette-wise, if you're drinking like in front of the queen, it's frowned upon. But for professional tasting and for savoring the flavor, you absolutely have to aerate it. So you slurp it and you get a more sensitive palate to it. So I slurp because I'm looking for different flavors. I'm looking for notes. I'm looking for different kinds of things that separate itself on an aerated palate versus just drinking and talking kind of a thing. But I always encourage, whenever I serve tea and whenever we're at a social gathering, I always encourage slurping, because that allows anybody to taste whatever they can taste, and they can think about it. If you just drink your tea without appreciating it, you miss out on the full experience. So yes, it's rude, it's quote unquote rude to slurp your tea in front of people, but I don't care. The proper way to drink tea is to slurp it, to fully enjoy it. But of course, it's all for, listen, slurping is popular in ramen communities and for similar reasons, and also it feels good. Oh yeah, absolutely, I totally agree. Because I mean, you get that. So the English don't appreciate it. I mean, the common English are probably not looking for the flavor; they're just looking to drink tea. But for professionals, they would. What was it? I is get what you were saying though. Oh yeah, I guess that's a typo. But yeah, like it's a difference of experience, what you're looking to get out of that particular moment. If you're looking for a teaching fact, or if you're looking for your tea specifically, then yeah, go ahead and slurp. But if you're just talking to your neighbor, have a hot cup, and drinking like that, yeah, by all means. But as C Wade said, yeah, it feels good, and it's true. Cause I mean, like you slurp it, and you just make that noise, and it's very invigorating. You know, I am easily amused sometimes, and I'll freely admit this. Even when I'm alone and I'm drinking tea, I slurp it, because while I'm doing whatever it is I'm doing, I like to think about the moment, and they say, you know, it's really good for. It's a really good way of being mindful of the very moment that you're in, rather than getting caught up in work or whatever it is that you're doing. And I got into that habit where I don't even realize I do it most of the time. But it's a good thing because automatically as I slurp, I think I do. You know, it's not always in sync where I'm thinking and doing the same thing, but it helps me realize that I'm staying grounded, and I'm in the moment, and everything is happening at that particular time. So it's. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is just it's a habit that developed and it's beneficial to me. You know, if you want to try that, I highly encourage it because you never know. So this is what brought it up. In a proper household, LOL, we got slapped for that. That's just wrong. You gotta live it up. You gotta live a little, you know? As a matter of fact, it's 8:23, time for the Thomas taste. So that is mainly slurping. So, was it, believe me, when he first started slurping, I wanted to slap him too. He explained why, and I calmed down, LOL. Yeah, that's my mom. Ladies and gentlemen, first thing to violence. She's like, living was making it day by day without getting slapped. Back in my day. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do the Thomas taste. And please don't slap me for this. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Thomas taste is, what you do is you slurp it, you let it rest on the tongue for a couple seconds, you swallow and breathe out through your nose. And that's supposed to enhance different kinds of flavors, and it did. Have I ever seen the movie Tampop? Oh, Tempopo? Lots of good slurping in there. I have not, but I think I'll check it out because that sounds incredible. I assume it's about either ramen or something like that. I'm gonna have to look that up for sure. So doing the Thomas taste, I'm getting that floral sense back. It's you know it's stronger than it was previously. I wasn't getting it as much as I was when I breathed out of my nose. But interestingly enough, I wasn't tasting it on my tongue when I had the tea resting on my palate. It's very subtle on the palate, but as you breathe out, the perfume of it gets I guess, gets exposed. Oh, excuse me. And you can taste it on the way out. And I really appreciate that because it's like a revival of what you had before, and it's really nice. You know, it's nice and it's nice and fragrant, and I appreciate that while my nose is still unstuffed. We're not in that part of the the year yet where I can't breathe, but yeah, it's very fragrant coming out. Okay, so I'm gonna do this as I always do. It's time for questions, comments, and anything you want to talk about. Now's the time. I'm gonna open up the floor for anything you guys want to ask. I'm going to answer Teresa's question as I usually do. What would I pair this with? Being that it's sweet, citrus, floral, not too heavy, I would probably go with like just maybe a salad. Light on the dressing, definitely no vinaigrettes. Vinaigrettes might just make all the fruits in here a little bit sour. What else? Probably like some bread, something like crackers, something very, very light. I feel like this is walking the line between a light lunch and a dessert kind of palette there, because it's not super strong in any direction. If I were to go dessert wise, I'd probably like pair it with a nice little like a cracker or something like what is that stuff called? Like the Pepperidge Farm cookies, but with the raspberry filling. I was like, do I have any opinions on kukicha? Bought some once and you liked it. Oh yeah, kukicha is amazing. Like it's because it's not super grassy, it's not super vegetal, and I always tend to like go towards like the smokier end teas. I mean, I'm a moody drinker, so sometimes I just prefer that. But yeah, kukicha has a nice, like a hay kind of flavor to it. So it's well balanced. You're not going to get too, you're not going to get that like astringency that you usually get from any other green tea. Do I have any? Oh wait, it's the same one. But yeah, if you like that kind of thing, going between like kukicha, there's also what is that? What is that flavor? I am drawing a blank. Like I can see it in my mind. Genmai cha. Genmai cha is also around that kind of flavor profile where it's a Japanese green tea, but it's got rice in it, so you have kind of a cracker taste to it. You taste more of the rice than you do the green tea. So it's like nice and even. You're not going to get that astringency. You're not going to get that vegetal seaweed kind of flavor that you would for like, let's say, sencha or what's that, girokuro. So you're going to get like a nice mild flavor to it. If you don't like green teas, that's a good way to like sway yourself more towards it. I'm starting to like as it cools down, I'm really starting to appreciate the texture more, because there's a slight kind of silk to it, a little bit grainy, but not heavy like rooibos. Rooibos can get kind of heavy on the grain. This is nice and smooth. It's really quite nice. I would definitely recommend this. It's more herbal. Now, while it does have green and white teas in it, so it is caffeinated, but it's going to be on the lower end of the spectrum because there's not a bigger presence of the tea. It's also sharing the space with the butterfly pea flower and the pear, and I think it's just those four, right? Oh, and the vanilla. I'm assuming the vanilla is just the flavoring because I don't see any like miscellaneous pieces. Sometimes they put vanilla bean in it. Let's see, do you have any seasoned teapots for green tea? I was tempted to go down the rabbit hole, but I need to collect fewer things. Yeah, I totally get it. I never seasoned any pots for green specifically. I do have, and I'm probably going to get yelled at for this, I do have 2 yixing pots. One of them, I did right, my good one. I seasoned it with like a jade oolong, and I did milk oolong. I did an alishan in it, so that one is more traditional. But the other one, I did with a lapsang souchong. And yeah, I told I told one of my friends who's a manager at a tea shop, and she looked at me. She said, "You completely ruined it. You completely ruined it for any other tea." And I was like, "Yeah, that's why I had to buy a brand new pot specifically for that because I knew what was going to happen, And I think, well, I did it for an experiment." I was comparing the differences that you get from different vessels, and honestly, I really liked how it tasted out of the yixing. But I know that this is probably my preference, where it made the smoke bolder and it made the texture kind of like thicker. Because you're drinking from clay. And so the clay is going to, little by little, affect the liqueur of the tea. So you're going to get like a slightly thicker mouthfeel. But overall, I liked it out of the yixing best. I did it. It was the yixing pot, the porcelain, and cast iron. So in this order, it was yixing, cast iron, and porcelain that I appreciated it. That's the point, isn't it? I mean, yeah, it's the point, but for those who are super strict and say, oh yeah, yixing is only for oolongs, I say forget about it. Like life is too short to not be curious. And honestly, I think that now that you mention that's the point, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I said that already. I think life is too short to stick to all the rules. I mean, some are there for a reason, but others it's just like, you know what? Live a little. So yeah, I completely encourage people to go out and experiment and find what they like and stick with it. So yeah, I think that's gonna be my next experiment is seasoning a yixing for green tea, because why not? I mean, it does impact the flavor, and I think it's safe as long like within reason. I think it's safe to drink green tea and white tea out of the same yixing because white tea is not gonna have that super strong effect that it would on green tea. However, flavored white teas are going to have to be a no-no for that one because everything else, like if you add like strawberry into it, that's going to go into the pot. If you add even a jasmine silver needle, that jasmine is going to go into the pot, and it's going to affect it. So within reason, I'd probably just do green teas and like maybe Bai Mudan or regular silver needle. Different white teas, but other than maybe even a yellow tea. I think yellow tea would probably add a nice little sweetness to it. Okay, now I'm just now I'm going into mad scientist mode again. But it looks like we are out of time, and actually a little bit over time, but I'm okay with that. So I'm going to go ahead and close up. Thank you all for joining me tonight. This has been a wonderful experience. I will post the link in the description, so feel free to check it out. And until next time, have a great night, a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you later. Bye!